this. So sorry about that, folks. But yeah, I think you were saying something and then it just kind of got cut off.
Yeah, it just yeah, just that, um you doing it, bringing yourself to to a role is harder than it's easier said than done, I guess is the most efficient way to say it. And a succinct way to say it, I should say. And so yeah, I guess my parting words to a fellow VO actor wanting to kind of get into the mix is be honest with yourself. Do you want to do it, because of the kind of the glory and the fame of being a voice behind a character, or do you want, are you fulfilled and satisfied by the acting process? And that's a whole different thing. It's a whole different approach, and it's one that will sustain you through those harder times when you're not as booking as much as you want to, and you start to have self-doubt creep in. Oh gosh, have I done the right thing? And if you have that genuine love for it, it will be the sails that carry you from one continent to the next.
Man, right on. Um, and do you have any advice when it comes to joining, SAG or applying for the union and stuff? SAG talk.
Yeah. Sag talk. Yeah. It's a, especially for voiceover, they're very weird waters now, because so many things are non-union. And it it's continuing to evolve with, especially with all these the influencers and all this online stuff. Ultimately, it does matter, and it is important to have a a strong and functioning union supporting you and behind you when you get to bigger contracts. You want that. um, but in reality, in today's landscape for voiceover, it's, especially getting started, it's not something that I think is like, oh, I've got to get SAG, I've got to get SAG. It's kind of how it was when I got started. I don't think it's that way anymore. There's a lot of things you can do to improve yourself, and to get access to resources, auditions, that weren't there before. And so yeah, it's different than it was, and it can be weird and trying, but there's, truthfully, it probably should be a whole podcast. you know there's a lot of nuance, and a lot of when should you, when shouldn't you, and all of that. But I think just in a nutshell, getting to be SAG shouldn't be as important as getting to be as good as you can. You know what I mean? Spending time and energy being like, how do I get SAG? How do I get SAG? There's lots of ways you can just become SAG if that's what you want. The more important thing is, once you're SAG, are you good enough to compete at that level and sustain your career? You have to be good. You got to bring the goods. You can't just be like, oh, here's my badge, and have like a backstage pass. You actually got, when you get in there, they've got to be like, okay, this person can give us what we need to serve the story right now, or on Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock, or whatever it is. So um, but it's very nuanced. So yeah, maybe one day you'll want to have a whole SAG podcast.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And I have a couple of guests more, who would definitely seem to be like they have a lot more knowledge and experience, and they're like definitely eligible. Like if I ever do one of these episodes in the near future. So,
Yeah, man. Yeah, and if you did,
just stay tuned. That's all I'm gonna
yeah,
say at the moment.
I could recommend a couple of people to you also who are very knowledgeable as far as
Oh,
that goes.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I would have asked like, what are some like interesting or fun facts or anything. But I think you kind of already mentioned like you're in a band and all of this other stuff from earlier. So I think we pretty much got to know you more just by hearing you just ramble and talk, which is pretty much something that always happens on my podcast. I just have a guest on and we literally just go on like, I don't know, tangents about like TV shows, a video game, just anything that we
Yeah,
just kind of go off topic about, which happens really, really often here. So
that's awesome.
sorry, not sorry. Off the
Yeah,
cuff is the best type of content. So ye.
yeah, I
I would have
agree.
said deal with it, but I don't know. I'm not that dude. So
No, I think like the best podcasts are people just talking
we're
and
just chatting. Yeah,
yeah, fans that want to know what's going on. Like, what is
exactly.
what is
Yeah.
this person like, or how do what do they think like? And I think it's just as much for you to be like, what's inside. What people want to know, how do you think? How do you approach a problem or an idea? How do you tackle that? How do you emotionally and mentally get yourself around? How do you process it? And because you have access to a lot of people that with your platform, with your podcast, that other people don't. So you have all this exposure to other people's processes and other people's emotional progress, and that can't you can't help but have that influence your progress and how you tackle things, and that just makes you a more interesting person. And so just like at the beginning, you talking about what shows you like and what that's just as valid, just as pertinent to I think listeners wanting to know what this field is as the guests you have on.
Exactly. Yep. Um, yeah, that just pretty much sums it up in a nutshell.
Yeah,
Let me see. I guess you could just shell out your social since we're kind of at, you could just plug and just promote Joe's stuff,
sure, man.
if you
Yeah,
want to.
yeah. Mine's are pretty easy. They're all just my name, Eliah Mountjoy, ELIAHMOUNTJOY. I'm not on. I'm not on the talk. Probably just the way I said that, you can tell I'm not on TikTok. Um,
Mm.
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I think about trying to manage another social media platform. I'm like, I just don't have it. I don't have it in me. I don't have it. So yeah, but I'm not posting all the time. I'm trying to live life real time. And with the extra time I have, spend that time getting better at my craft or just enjoying life, getting on a hike. I love getting outside. I grew up in Colorado, so it's part of me. And if I don't get outside enough, I start to go a little wacky. But if I can get out and get some sun, get some fresh air, see some green, especially lately, it's been raining so much. Although my allergies go not just completely haywire um, with everything blooming. So it can be a double-edged sword there. But yeah, it's Eliah Mountjoy on the socials. And Robert, thank you so much for having me on your show. I appreciate it. Enjoyed getting a chance to talk to you and get to know you. And thank you.
Of course. And who knows what the future holds? We can only go we can only go upwards or like nowhere else to go but up in the future. Am I right?
Yeah, a rising tide raises all ships.
Oh yeah. And with everything that's been going on and, just in general, like I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell where exactly we're going, but you know, I'm always an optimistic person, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep it up, man. That's the right attitude to have.
Yeah, where do you see everything? Like just in general.
Where do I see everything?
Yeah.
Oh man,
Um
I mean that. Whoo, I we're on a floating organic rock spinning around a nuclear blast with other rocks and little moons around those rocks, hurling through perhaps an infinite space. I mean, it's when you just look at it like that, what a wild ride we are on. Then, you know, you zoom in from the macro into closer, like, you know, the Ukraine thing and the election, and on the heels of the pandemic and all the fires, and just, it's like there's so much to be, that you can get derailed worrying about, you know. But for me, to put it in perspective, it's always been this chaotic spinning ride, you know. And there actually is very little you can control, which is a huge lesson for acting. You know, there's very little you can control in the industry. So what you can control, your performance, or like we're talking about now in life, with everything being so crazy, what you can't control is yourself, how your thoughts, how you feel and approach about things. That those are the things I think we have to focus on, the things that we can control, and not and not get washed up and washed away rather with all the uncertainties of I mean, as an artist, I think it is our duty to be aware of what's happening. We can't turn a blind eye. But if you expose yourself too much to it ends up just kind of grinding you up, because you can't. All you can do is cast your vote for the next presidency. All you can do is there's only a certain amount of things you can do. You do what you can do, educate yourself to make the right choice, and then work on yourself to be the best person you can be. Work on yourself to be the best actor you can be. Work on yourself to be the best musician or artist you can be. And don't get all twisted up in the comment section, say, of some what fill in the blank social media, like, oh, this person said this. Who cares? Who cares? What matters is, how do you think about yourself? How do you feel about yourself? That's where the effort, I think, should be put in. Develop yourself as a person. Michael Chekhov said, you want to be a better actor, become a better person.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'm just like trying to think of something, but yeah, like let's just go with that.
Yeah,
Like, if
I
I
mean,
have
yeah,
any of my, I don't know if I have anything, like, if I can offer my own 2 cents, it's just do it. That's pretty much all I've got right now.
yeah, man. I mean, that's the seminal impetus of anything. If
Yeah.
just do it. I think that's actually great advice, because there can be a lot of overthinking too, and you get that analysis paralysis thing. You just overthink it.
Mhm.
Like I was saying earlier, you do have to have an honest conversation with, should I go for this? And then if the answer is like, yes, I am prepared to accept whatever hardships come, because I love this enough to be able to, I get such a high at the mic. I love it so much that I can do it. They'll sustain me through the rough patches to the point where I can get to just relish in the moments of being in the moment with a character. And you don't do that by just thinking about it. There comes a point where you just got to do it. You just got to jump. And if you hit the ground, realize um, that is part of the process. You get up, you dust yourself off, and you realize that the people who are the best at jumping are the ones who have done it the most, and have just gotten up. Get up, brush yourself off, do it again. Learn from, how can I do this better? How can I do it better? And then eventually you get some air under your wings, and then eventually you start soaring. So I think that's great advice.
Bingo. Yeah. Would you like to do an outro for this episode?
An outro. What? Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that?
You can say your name, what projects you've done, and you're watching the Station Square podcast.
Oh yeah. Um, yeah, totally. Well, uh, This is Eliah Mountjoy, and you can find me online under my name, Eliah Mountjoy. You can see all the things I've done there, and it's been a pleasure talking to you, Robert. And I recommend everybody listening to Station Square podcast.
Bye. We got it. So, any final goodbyes or just
Yeah, man. Are you where are you located?
I'm in LA.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, then we're in the same area. So hopefully we get a chance to actually cross paths in real time one of these days.
Yeah, hit me up, brother. And yeah, thank you everybody. Thank you everyone for yeah. Thank you for watching. And yeah, um I'll see you all next time. And until then, stay awesome, punch every day in the face, and oh, actually,
I
anyway,
love it. Punch
yeah.
every day in the face. Yeah.
Mm. It's from my good friend Brad Storm. You guys should totally check out his work. Definitely hire him for stuff. Awesome voice actor, just really dear friend of mine. And I don't know if this camera can see. Everybody's a winner. Totally not sponsored by David Buster's. Self promotion. Yeah,
I love
hire
that.
me.
Uh Punch every day in the face. That's great, man. That's great. I
I
take that.
just I gotta steal. I was like, oh, when I first heard that, I gotta steal it. So
Yeah. I'm
Brad, if
stealing
you're
from
watching this, love you, man, but like gotta steal from the best. You know what I mean? So, anyways, thank you for watching, and yeah, stick around next time on Station Square. And yeah, until then, love y'all. Bye. Later. Peace.
you.